Michael, very cool game coming up, man. It's got my eyes, right? I was talking about it off camera, and here we go again. Even after the Baldur's Gate RPGs, BioWare vet says Dragon Age The Veilguard was when the devs, quote, finally said out loud, end quote, it's best at, quote, telling stories through characters, and, quote, Austin Wood over Games Radar. Dragon Age The Veilguard has been described as a moment of focus for BioWare, a studio finally returning to one of its pillars, IPs, after 10 often troubled years away. Been a while, that's for sure. With his next single-player RPG, studio veteran Mark Dara, a former Dragon Age producer now working on it as a consultant on Veilguard, says BioWare was redoubled its efforts in character-driven storytelling. Speaking with Game Informer, Dara, who's been working with BioWare since Baldur's Gate days of the late 90s, says that, quote, the thing that is so amazing about Veilguard is this is the game where we finally said out loud that BioWare's greatest strength is telling stories through characters. And quote, if you go all the way back to Baldur's Gate 1, Baldur's Gate 2, these games are telling stories through characters. But there wasn't an intentionally behind that, end quote. Dara continues, quote, and in this game, we're finally putting that intentionality first and foremost. Putting the characters first, building the game around that, around those character moments, which is really the best way that BioWare knows how to tell stories. And quote, Dara previously called Veilguard, dude, I'm going into Call of Duty now. Veilguard, quote, the best Dragon Age game that I've ever played, end quote. I feel it'd be a little awkward if you said it was the worst one you've ever played, considering that's the newest thing you're working on. You know what I mean?
And it's been so long, right? Imagine you say like, oh yeah, 10 years. Nah, the other ones were better.
That's,
you know?
Go play Origins. It's way better.
Yeah.
The Veilguard, it's okay. Like, that's not how that works, right? So I can appreciate the hype building. I think BioWare is obviously incredibly known for their storytelling and the characters, and that's what we need to get involved in here when we dive into the world of our characters. The fact that, again, over at Summer Game Fest, I got behind the closed doors look at Dragon Age The Veilguard, dude, the characters, the options, the opportunities is going to bring about to hopefully dive into an immersive world that is focused on my character, which will be different than your character, Michael, and how that plays out, right? That to me is really cool. I'm going to be spending probably like 2 hours setting up my character because there's so many details and intricacies that you can make it so it's yours. So nobody will have the same character, which is, I kind of feel is pretty cool, right? When you play The Last of Us, dude, Ellie is Ellie and everybody plays Ellie, which is great, dude. Last of Us Part 2, my game of the year. Last of Us Part 1 was my game of the year. Like, it's incredible games. However, the way BioWare tells the story, like, your Shepherd was your Shepherd, right? Like, it was just different than everybody. Even though we played one particular Shepherd, I feel like everybody had their own story getting into these games, just the way it was told through the BioWare magic. Make sense?
No, I'm totally with you. I think my only complaint is when you mentioned that the character customization is that in depth. Like, I almost feel like I have to just go with the stock character so I can start the game, right? Like, I don't want to be 5 hours in and they're like, oh, how's the game? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't gotten past the character creator because there's every single option. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying for me personally, sometimes I'm just like, preset character go, because I know if I don't, I'm going to be stuck there for 5 hours doing nothing but making sure my character is absolutely perfect.
Which is fair. It's fair. I understand that. I'm always such a big character-driven guy where I want to model my character, and if it's going to take me that day, then that's what I do that day, and I'll be back in tomorrow to play the game. But yeah, it's definitely something that's intense. I thought it was really cool, and I'm hoping maybe that we have an opportunity with this, is when it came to Dragon's Dogma 2 out of Capcom, they actually gave us the character creator first. So you can go in there and you can create your pawn, you can create your main character. That way when the game dropped, boom, dude, you're right in then, right? So you can't play the game, but at least you can get in and get your character created and take the time that you want to set up. Because I did my pawn, dude, I still haven't played the game. But I've got the pawn created and I'm ready to go. But that, I spent like an hour thinking, okay, what does this character do? What does that do? And I think this is where the magic is really going to shine for Dragon Age The Veilguard. It's been a long time since we got a good Dragon Age game, and I know fans have hype behind it. BioWare has been on a bit of a roller coaster lately as well, right? I think that's the other side when we take a look at BioWare, go, man, okay, like Mass Effect 1, 2, 3, immaculate stories, right? That's what put them on a pedestal. Then Dude, we had a game called Anthem. I don't know if you remember this game called Anthem.
Oh no,
Michael, do you remember this game called Anthem?
Dude, I was so hyped. I was absolutely so hyped. I saw the trailer and I was like, "This is my new game." Oh,
Yeah.
You had to bring up painful memories.
I did too. I loved Anthem. I absolutely loved it. I know its shortcomings, but I still have yet to play anything that feels like the Javelin suits. Anything, right? There's nothing like it. There was huge opportunity. The fact that I'm still not playing Anthem today hurts, right? I'm like, okay, here we go. This is supposed to be a live service experience. Let's keep this. If they can pull off like what Destiny has done with Bungie, coming in there and what Bungie's created with now Destiny 1, Destiny 2, and then the final shape just released not too long ago. Act 2 is out now. Like there's so many things down there with Bungie's just done. Not perfect by any means, right? Because I've seen the community, it's been up and down too, but BioWare just scrapped it, right? They were working on Anthem 2.0 and we just never got there. So I don't know. I think now it feels like they're coming back. There's a lot of weight, I think, riding on Dragon Age for BioWare. Time will tell. It is coming out this year. That's the other side of it, man. I can't believe it. We're getting hands on it this year at some point, sometime, because I don't think there's actually been a date announced yet. Again, we're running out of time, Michael. When do you release this game, you think?
I mean, it's always sort of that like October, November, maybe you ship it around the holidays idea. That's probably what I'd expect. But I mean, in this day and age as a gamer, anytime there, and even when there is a concrete release date, it's never set in stone until it actually comes out. But
fair enough.
If we're in July and there's no release date, I'm starting to,
holiday.
Yeah.
Holiday's gonna be busy without a doubt. This year is I feel like everything's coming to the tail end of this year, where I feel the last couple of years has been scattered throughout, where now is like, okay, where's this game? Where is that game? Avowed still coming out. Like there's so many games still coming out that I feel are gonna be decent, big enough to, like Star Wars coming out at the end of the year, right? Okay, well now Star Wars is coming out, and Assassin's Creed is coming out. Avowed is coming out. Where do you place Dragon Age so it doesn't get overshadowed by something else? I think that's the other key feature that EA has to be paying attention to. BioWare has to be aware of, right? Dropping the game at a certain time and a certain day matters, and they got to pay attention to what's the competition out there. Are we bigger than that competition? Time will tell. We want to hear from you. ITGTV.com.